Let's make a shadow movie now. Back in the Light Manager, turn Daylight Savings back on. Place a fence in the view. Now I'm going to go to Utilities and click on Render and Solar Study. Up pops the Solar Study Movies settings box. And just follow through the settings with me. The view number should automatically be the one that you're working in. Resolution is simply the resolution of your specific view, so your number will be different from mine, but leave yours as it is. Frames will start with 10, speed is 1, gamma 1, solar shadows is on, don't need to title it. What's important though is the render mode. That must be Luxology. No anti-alias. Start time, I've got 1 o'clock, but you can change that if you wish. Everything else is the same. I'm in September, again the 9th. My year is showing as 2013, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter which year. And the total duration of the shadow movie will be for 5 hours. When all that's set, click on Save. Pops us into the Record Sequence settings box where we can set where we want the individual frames to be sent. Now this is MicroStation's default path. Now the format is important, and right now I've got Targa set. But if you look at the list, there are 2 possible scenarios here. With Targa and, say, JPEG, we will create individual shadow frames. If we choose something like FLI or FLC or AVI, then we'll get a continuous movie. I want to generate individual frames here because that gives me the advantage of being able to extract frames or insert frames into my movie. I can't do that with an AVI or a regular movie format. So Targa is going to remain. Everything else can be the same here. Now, as soon as we click on OK, then the rendering starts. And you'll see the frames being generated in the status line here. Here comes number 8. There we go. So the frames have now been generated, and now I need to view them. So back to Utilities. This time go to Image, and to the bottom, Movies. Up comes the Movies dialog box. Need to load the movies, so click on File and Load. We're back to our same path, which is very convenient. And here are the individual frames that we've just rendered. So we'll say OK. And here's the first frame of our movie in place. So I can now look at individual frames by simply moving my slider along or using the arrow at the end to individually advance the frames. Or I can click on this to start the movie itself. So let's try that. So the movie is running, and you can see the frames flicking by very quickly. Let's change that. Settings, playback, number of frames, default is 2. Let's make that, say, 10. I can do this, you notice, while the movie is still running. And the playback has slowed down a bit, but it's still too fast. So let's change this again. 25. And now my movie is moving quite slowly. But I'm seeing frames, not a smooth movie that you're normally accustomed to. And this, of course, is because of the limited number of frames that we've set. You want something smoother, you must set up the movie system for a higher number of frames. But of course, that means more processing time for the actual movies. Now, one further refinement you can make is to add a timestamp to this drawing, which will provide a time for each individual frame. And to do that, we need to go to Element and Cells, and we're going to open up Animator Cell Library. And the cell we need is this one, SLRTIM, Solar Time. And we simply place that as a placement in our model, run the movie again, and you'll see now a timestamp imposed upon the screen, which gives you the individual solar times of each frame. I'm not going to do that. I'll leave that to you. So there you have it. What you might want to do now is change settings, add more frames to a movie, and even try one in an FLC or FLI format. And MicroStation is able to show that movie as well through its regular movie system. You might also want to work with the house design that we used in the last video series. and make a shadow movie of that building. Give that a try and see how it works.